Welcome to Life with Long COVID with me, Paul Clark. It's estimated that around 400 million people are suffering from the effects of what is now called Long COVID globally. There are probably many more people suffering but not able to articulate what is wrong with them. This podcast was started for one reason and one reason only: that those suffering will not feel like they're on their own. Welcome to this latest episode of Life with Long COVID. My name is Paul Clark. If it's the first time you've listened to one of these episodes, then thank you. I appreciate you. Good to have you around as part of the community. If you're a regular, equally welcome. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. This week is a little bit later. Normally I record episodes on a Friday, but last week was a particularly difficult week for me. I'd basically done too much, and I wrote about this over the weekend. I did too much. I decided to try and finish decorating a room, which had been long since overdue, and much to I did the opposite basically of what my wife Rachel wanted me to do. She said don't do it. I decided to go ahead and do it anyway because I just wanted to get it done, and I was feeling okay that day. But for 2 days I finished that decorating. I felt really good about it at the time, and I stood back and looked at it and thought, that is fantastic. And of course afterwards I crashed, and I've been crashed ever since. Basically laid up on a sofa, having to take regular naps, not really been able to contribute anything in the house or, anything meaningful with my children, which I really hate, and it really wasn't worth the cost. But of course, when you're thinking about doing these things, that's not on your mind. What's on your mind is getting the job done. And that's the frustration with long COVID or this type of chronic illness, is that boom or bust cycle where you are constantly doing too much, paying for it. And it happens on a big scale, like it happened to me and wiped me out all last week. Or it can happen in smaller kind of micro scales every single day. And every day, I have to decide what I'm going to be doing, when I'm going to be doing it, and weigh up whether it's worth doing it or not, depending on how urgent it is. And that in itself is tiring, and it's a continual process. What I was reflecting on over the weekend, though, is the effect it has on my mental health. And it really does. It's a physical crash, but it really affects my mental health as well. I get all the classic signs of depression, because of course that is what it is. I'm devoid of kind of hope. I just resign myself to the fact that a cure is never going to come for this illness. I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life. I feel like a fraud for the kind of things that I've been doing, writing, recording, this kind of thing. I think, well, who am I to do this kind of thing? And I haven't really got any interest in anything. I just don't feel worthwhile to do anything. And that's how it gets you when you crash. You crash emotionally as well as physically. And it's taken me, the last couple of days for me mentally start to feeling okay again and thinking, no, actually, I really can contribute to this. And, things are not quite as bad as I thought they were. Helped partly because I had a medication change. I've long taken antidepressants to try and alleviate some of the mental health effects that long COVID has upon me. And so a slight increase in medication is one of the reasons why I'm feeling a bit better. But time does it as well. Time really helps, and rest really helps also. As I say, the lack of recognition. At what point did the medical profession decide that this is actually a thing? How many people does it take to get long COVID? How many unexplained illnesses in the system? How many people going for extensive medical tests only to reveal nothing? And rather than be told it's in your head, at what point do the medical profession turn around and say, do you know what, I think this is a thing, you've got something? At the moment, long COVID-wise, the latest statistics record around 2 million people in the UK have long COVID, 400 million worldwide. And it's cost the global economy, it is thought, about £1 trillion. Their numbers I can't possibly comprehend, but yeah, that is what it is actually costing. And the likelihood is it's going to be a lot more, because they only can talk about the people, obviously, that they know about, who've been to the doctors and have been through that months of testing and doubt to be actually diagnosed. There are many more people who are not diagnosed and actually just trying to live their life the best way possible, but feeling like they're failed every 5 seconds. And that's also the thing that gets to your mental health. That feeling of constantly feeling like you're failing all the time, and you want to do things, you can't do things, you feel like you should do things, you can't do things. It's that constant cycle of feeling like you have failed all the time, and no wonder it affects mental health, and no wonder there are lots of people, millions of people, going through this physically and mentally. So what are the silver linings to come out of this? Well, the silver linings to come out of it is that I'm coming out of this depression now, and I always do. So whenever I have a crash, physically, mentally, I do recover to some extent. So I'm still pretty tired. I'm still wiped out. You all know that feeling. It's more than tiredness. That's that deep set fatigue, which I've been really careful not to push against for fear that it will cause another crash. And as that's improved, and as the doctors have increased my medication slightly, then my mental health is restoring. And I've got a feeling this week it's going to be a lot better, as long as I don't push myself too hard. And of course, once it gets better, I begin to see things what they really are. The other thing that helped over the weekend boost me enormously is a couple of people paid to subscribe. And I understand that not everybody can pay to subscribe. I get that they're not in a position to do that, and you can subscribe for free. But it does give me such an enormous boost. So thank you for those 2 people over the weekend who subscribed. Gave me that boost, that confidence to know that what I'm doing here is worthwhile, and I really appreciate that. And for someone who was crashed and feeling really down over the weekend, it really, really lifted me to the extent where I feel able to get up today and carry on with the podcast, with my writing. So thank you. And and if you're able to contribute in that way, all you need to do is go to www.lifeoflongcovid.co.uk and subscribe, and you also get to receive articles and writings and news and stuff like that regularly to your email inbox. So there's bonuses as well. And if you haven't already got my book, Life of Long COVID, then you also get a copy of that as well. So there you go, it's a bonus. I'm just about to ship one off to the United States of America as I speak, with deep gratitude. So look, whatever you're doing this week, you may feel like this endless juggling of your energy levels just is never going to end. You may feel completely wiped out by this constant cycle of thinking, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Worst of all, you might feel like you're on your own with it and that nobody understands. If you hear nothing else this week, I want you to hear this. You are not alone. You're not the only one going through this. There are others as part of this community and beyond who completely understand what you're going through. You're not going mad. You're not in some way weak, or certainly not weak-minded. You are going through an illness, a viral reaction that people will catch up with in the end. It will become recognised in the end. But until then, just know that you are not alone. We'll catch up again on Friday, but I want to record this quick update to say hi and to say I'll see you again soon.